Hi, I'm Ben Wojdyla, and on this edition of Saturday Mechanic, we're going to answer some of the questions you sent us in email. How you doing? I'm Ben, and this is Russ.
Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Craig
Where are you from, Craig?
from New Jersey,
New Jersey. All right, so
The Garden State.
the Garden State.
Very nice. And what do you have growing in your garden today?
Right now, some tomatoes,
I've got some my cucumbers and my peppers going, so I'll call you in August, okay?
I have
All
weeds.
right.
You have
Sounds good.
weeds?
I have weeds.
No,
that's
you
it.
grow weeds. I'm sorry. Anyhow,
So it appears that you're in a bomb shelter. What's going on there?
This is my garage,
Oh. All right, so what do you got in it, and what's the problem?
I've got a 2002 Impala, and it's, I don't know, it's,
You're gonna have to be more explain a little bit better than that.
I know.
it's silver. I know that.
It could be purple.
It's silver.
Oh, it's a 2002. That's right. I was
It's
thinking
silver.
96.
It's
yep.
silver. What color is it?
Silver. Black.
Oh.
Got a 2002 black Impala, and feel like I'm leaking out of the radiator,
So are you losing coolant regularly? Is that
regularly losing coolant.
how much do you add on how regular of a basis?
Recently, I've been adding coolant about once a week.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Do you smell a sweet smell, a very almost sickening sweet smell inside the car?
A little bit.
Do you, when you turn on the defroster, although not this time of year, but if you turn on your defroster several weeks ago, did it steam your windshield?
It did.
Are you seeing anything dripping onto the floor at all, or onto the floor of your garage, I should say?
Yeah, I've got some coolant dripping onto the floor.
Oh, dripping. Well, dripping's good. No, dripping.
It can be much better than the
dripping.
latter.
Dripping's cheaper. Okay,
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. How about inside on the transmission tunnel, which is not, but the hump there between your side and the passenger side, the carpeting there. If you put your hand up underneath there, do you feel any moisture or wetness there?
Haven't checked that.
Okay. Your cooling system is the heat exchanger, the engine, and the heat exchanger, the heater core, which is inside the passenger compartment. It's a 10-year-old car, so I'm guessing you have 75,000 miles on it?
A lot more than that.
Okay. So cooling systems tend to eat themselves from the inside out. If the coolant is not changed, now you have a General Motors product, so they want it changed at 150 or 5 years. But if we don't do that, coolant breaks down and eats the cooling system from the inside out. The hoses, and the worst of all is the heater core, because it's buried so deeply into the instrument panel.
It's basically the car is built around that.
Yeah, we could. If it was something simple like the radiator, that'd be great. If it was a hose, that would be great, or a water pump even. That would be great, okay? Very simple repairs can be done. Is it a 3.1 V6 or the 3.8 V6?
It's the 3.8.
It's a 3.8. Well, that's good.
It's a good solid
That's
engine.
a good, solid engine. We do have some issues in that era with the intake manifold. It's a known problem where the EGR, the exhaust gas recirculation, is. They may have cured it by 2002, but they did have an issue with that engine, which is just a tough old engine. I like those a lot, but the plastic intake or the nylon intake manifold would develop a hole in there where the EGR, the exhaust gases, went into the intake. So that's a place you could take a look, okay? If I were me, and the last time I checked I would go borrow or rent a cooling system pressure tester. It's a little pump. It screws on where the radiator cap is, and you pump up the system to about 15 psi, okay?
Which is a little bit above operating pressure, right? Is
No,
it
the
right about
caps there are 15,
Okay.
as high as 17. There'll be a red zone on there. Leave that on and then start looking around and look for the drip. So park it in a dry spot of your garage and just see if you see anything dripping, okay? Hope that it drips underneath the radiator or underneath a hose or the water pump, which will be on the passenger side of the vehicle by the wheel well, okay? That's where the water pump's located. If, hopefully not, it's leaking inside the vehicle, okay, and you go sniff around and you feel underneath the hump on the passenger side, touching all the carpeting and all that, if you feel any wetness there, then you'll need to go to the radiator you could do yourself, the water pump you could do yourself, maybe on the 3.8. The 3.1 is very easy to do, but that's where I would look first. Okay?
And if it's inside, if he finds his problem is inside is the heater core, he would have probably noticed all the sloshing in his footwells by now. I mean, he's adding at
You're adding so much.
So
yeah.
much.
But
you'd notice.
But
by
it's
now.
springtime. It's
It might-
springtime, so
might
you don't have the
evaporate,
heat.
yeah. But yeah, start at the engine side.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Hope-
be the cheaper part.
Hopefully it'll be a water pump or just a leak in one of the tanks. Your radiator is made out of aluminum fins with plastic tanks on the sides. And hopefully that seal has gone bad and you can just replace the radiator.
What do you think the worst thing it could be would be to pull the dipstick and find that it's milky?
Yes, that would be
Yeah.
the worst thing.
Yeah. So if you a really quick check is to pull the dipstick out and check your oil. If the oil on there is actually close to white, it kind of looks like coffee with a lot of cream in it.
Very good. That's a good description. Yeah.
That means
Don't
you got-
drink it. Don't drink it.
Don't
Okay.
drink it. That means you
that's
got-
not a double latte mocha joca. Okay. That's oil. That's coolant in your oil. Okay.
That means that something in your head gasket has failed and coolant is leaking into your oil system, which is a very bad thing.
But let's not go there.
Yeah, well, it's an easy check, but let's hope that's not what it is.
That's you would know that if you had steam coming out of the tailpipe.
All right.
Does that help at all, Craig?
Definitely.
Should we
Thank
go
you.
all over that again? 1, 2, 3. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're set. Hopefully, if you get a chance to poke around, send me an email or send us an email on what you find.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Craig.